Review of Dana 3504 Jeep WJ from August, September 2022.
So anyway, that's what I'm going to be dealing with. I noticed I got some RTV somehow on that bracket. I forget what that's called. I think that goes on the outside of the bearing. But anyway, you see that RTV, that's probably not a good thing, because that could probably get inside the, but, you know, I'm not an expert, but, these gears are probably got a lot of wear, even though you may not,
Come on,
to the
beat it out, boy.
Untrained eye, it would be hard to tell, because I don't think this Jeep was ever used for off-roading, and it may have just normal wear and tear over time, but 200,000 miles plus, there's probably the bearings. I can't find no documentation that any of this on either differential, front or rear, has ever been worked on, changed out, repairs, bearings changed out. So, and I think it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and change everything out. And it's going to cost some money, but yeah, I've already spent a lot of money on this thing. I probably could have bought a pretty nice Jeep for what I've spent, but that's I'm using it as a hobby to rebuild, and it's keeping me busy and it's keeping me active, and I look forward to it. It's something to do. I never thought I'd be looking forward on working on vehicles, but here I am. But anyway, that's I will be getting into this, and I'm gonna be and I'm gonna pull the drive. Probably, I don't know if I'm gonna pull the axles or the drive shaft, but I may do them both at the one after the other. I don't know what order, but the drive shaft's gonna be, because that pinion gear and all that, the bearing and all that stuff is gonna come out. Differential here, and I've already loosened up some of these bracket bolts, and I'm checking. I'm looking for this pin. I think it's a pin bolt that holds this big pin in. I'm not really sure if I gotta find out if I need to. Okay, that's it. That was I was having trouble finding this. I didn't realize I had one, but it's a 1/4 inch 12-point socket in there. So anyway, I'm going to, I haven't made a final decision what I'm going to do here yet, but, excuse me, but the very minimum, I'm going to pull this out and look it over. And I'm starting, I cleaned it yesterday, and I'm starting to see a few things on it. It looks like it's got some marks here, some marks on this pin and on the carrier. Look this carrier over real good, because this carrier could have some wear on it. But anyway, let's see what I'm gonna finish taking these bracket bolts out. I already got some of them loose. Take them out with the impact, and here we go. And I think most of them are loose. Should be able to pull them right out. Now I need to pay more attention on where I'm placing my bolts and the nuts that off of any component, bolts and nuts. Make sure I keep track of them, because I'm bad about that. I'm always having to look for items. One thing I need to get me a rag. Okay, and this is on the Pinion shims and race. Now, some information I just come across, because I had been confused. On several videos, I noticed that some were putting the pinion shims behind the race, and some were putting it behind the bearing there on the pinion shaft. So that really confused me, because I always thought it went on behind the bearing on the pinion shaft. So I called, I didn't call, I emailed Yukon, where I got my kit, and they informed me that if it's the original from the factory, it will be behind the pinion shaft bearing on the pinion shaft. But their kit, the shims, are meant to go behind that race there. But they also said you could install them behind the race or behind the pinion shaft bearing. But they cautioned, make sure you don't put shims behind each one or the other. So I think what I'm going to do is stay with this. I'll probably pull that bearing off, and at the very least, I don't know if I'll reuse those shims, but at the very least I will measure them and find out what the thickness is, and I'll start with that. And that's a quick My Jeep update. I just thought I'd pass that info on. I know those of you that are experienced will know this, but I know there's many like me that's just learning these things, and I just thought I'd pass that on. That's My Jeep out. And this is the dial from the Fowler kit I purchased recently to check my backlash, and I'm not sure it may measure my pinion depth too, but I noticed there were people having some problems how to zero this instrument, and it was actually pretty easy. You got to loosen that adjustment screw there, and then you can turn that black dial. You'll see 0 on there, then you turn that dial until the 0's lined up with the red hand and the gauge is zeroed in. So you can turn it, line it up, and then don't forget to tighten the adjustment screw back to hold it in place. And then that's considered zeroed, and it should be ready to start using. And you'll probably have to reset it occasionally. After so many uses, it'll probably get off some.
Hey, can I play with that toy? It looks fun. Is that a yo-yo?
Okay, I'm back to having problems with tools. I got me a cheap bearing puller to pull these bearing off the pinion shaft, and I was having trouble with it. And what I did, the bolts and stuff that came with it were kind of flimsy. So I went to Ace and I found me a heavier, harder steel bolt to go in there. It doesn't give me a whole lot of space to push down on this pinion. I've used my old pinion nut, and I've got another small nut in there to help as a guide where that goes down. The end of the threads of that bolt go down in there. Hopefully it'll hold it in position. And anyway, I've got everything tightened up like it's supposed to. I got some stronger bolts and washers, harder steel for this, and tighten these up. I think later on, I didn't get me a more expensive. I could have got me a better one, but I'll probably only use it once or twice. I may use it on the front differential, Dana 30, because at the very least, I still got to gut it, even if I just do bearings. And that's a plan, but I'm completely rebuilding the rear differential, the Dana 35. But anyway, I'm having a problem with this cheaper bearing puller. We'll see what happens, and I may have to purchase me that clamshell type. They look like they work pretty good, but I'm gonna see if I can make this work with these stronger bolts and nuts and shoring it up. And I think later on, if I have to use this again, these bolts in here are kind of sloppy. I think I'll get me a little bit bigger bolts, replace these, and stronger bolts that fit, that have a tighter fit or a better fit in there, because these here, I don't know if it's the bolt or just because it's kind of loose. You can see how it's kind of bowing. It's doing that on both sides, and that's not good, you know. But anyway, if this works, I'll get back with you. I got to have both hands, and I don't have a helper, so if this works, I'll get back with you on an update and show you how it worked or how it failed, because this could be a failure. Yeah, that's my Jeep out. How many goddamn failures you gonna have there, boy? I bet you got a list a mile long.
Doing about 12:30. Okay, as you can see, I'm still torquing carrier bolts down. It's taken me all morning to figure this out because I don't have a proper way. The best way would probably be a 5 or 6 inch vise bolted down to a good bench, and using padded insert so you won't damage this case here. But anyway, I'm getting it done slowly. I think I got one, maybe 2 bolts. I've got them marked. I think that's the only one I got left right there. I might have another one, I'm not sure. I've been crisscrossing. Yeah. But anyway, it's hard to see on this side. I believe I only got the one bolt down. And the specs that I found showed 50 to 60 foot-pounds on these ring bolts, and I'm doing 55 is what I'm doing. And I did use I used thread locker in my Jeep out.
See you on the next update. Out for now.